I'm Brian.
I'm Steve.
And we're here at Visalia Hobbies. We're going to be doing a unboxing video of the X-Maxx. That giant thing right here. So let's get into it.
Let's dig in.
We're gonna pull out, there should be right here. Okay. Get in the little stuff first. One, tool bag. You have a 17 mil hex wrench, Allen wrenches, a regular wrench, like for nuts and whatnot. Standard kind of Traxxas toolkit, similar to what comes in the Revo. We have warranty card. Fill it out, has a little survey. Decal sheet. Upside down. And then we have here, this is kind of like a your parts list. It has your warranty information and whatnot, and also the very, very useful exploded view, where it'll give you your parts, if you break anything, whatnot. And we'll go over a few things in here too. We'll zoom in on the camera to show you some features that we had noticed in here. And your regular manual, getting started, how to put the battery trays in and whatnot. We'll go over some of that. And these things, we'll explain what they are here in a minute. Let's get this out of the way. And the truck. Alright, we'll roll this out of the way for a second. This is your radio. It is the new Traxxas Link to TQI Bluetooth one. I'm sure you've seen this with a few of their cars out. This does come with the Bluetooth module in it, so you won't have to buy that as an extra feature. You'll be able to hook it to your iPad, Android phone, tablet, whatever, so you can do any kind of programming or adjustment, assign the multifunction knob for dual rate steering, or anything else. And now the truck. Pull the plastic off here. We'll have Steve pull the body off and kind of give you a rundown of the body, how to detach it.
Okay. On Traxxas' new truck here, they have a different feature that got rid of the body clips. It has a little latch with a lock in the back. You simply turn it this way to unlock it. Then you lift this part up, and you lift the back of the truck and slide it back, and it comes out. And as you can see on the inside, the latch back here, that locks it into place. And then you have this little tab that slips underneath the front of the shock tower. So when you're putting it on, you want to slide it forward, then bring the back down and then lock it in place. Which we'll show you how to do that later towards the end of the video when we put everything back together.
Alright, and battery straps here, they detach like that. You have your battery tray down here. It's a pretty deep well. Basically, it will handle either a soft pack or a hard pack. The hard pack is basically a 3-cell hard pack. Is how the configuration is out of the box. They give you these inserts here. that clip on, and that's to take up space. If you're using a soft pack, so your battery doesn't go flopping around all over the place. I would say probably put some Velcro in there anyways to kind of, there is a little bit of a gap with most batteries, it seems, where it does still move up and down a little bit. I kind of prefer it not to move around at all. Just, you know, jumps, crashes, stuff like that. You kind of don't want your battery to be jerking around inside of the chassis. But every battery that we've put in these so far, hard packs and soft packs, either using the stock configuration or adding the inserts, seem to be pretty close to perfect when you put the battery in there. We have the speed control is a VXL 6S. Right now, that is a limit that they've tested it in, is 6 cell. I'm not sure if they're going to go with 8 cell later or do anything different with that. But it is going to be different. It's not your regular X01 speed control. It is a X01 power system, we've been told, that's in them. The motor looks like an X01 motor, very similar to it anyways. But the speed control is standard Traxxas programming, like in a VXL or an XL5, where you have training mode, sport mode, and race mode. Let you tell them about the servo and the chassis.
Okay, on the chassis, well, first thing to begin with is you can split it kind of like you can on a / four-wheel drive. You simply have, pretty much the front and the rear is going to be the same. So you got these two up here on the upper brace, and then when you flip it back over like this, you're going to have, what is it, these two screws here, and those two, and then these two here, which are going to release the whole front, and it just slips out. And the same as well as the rear. And also they added the GTX shocks. They're aluminum threaded bodies. The caps are plastic, and everything else below.
As far as the chassis design, it is a 3-piece design. It will, you can separate the front and the rear, very similar to like a Revo or a /4x4. The servo mounts is underneath inside. You remove the bottom skid plate here, and it's underneath this tray. The servo is different than most servos. It is not a regular servo. It has it's kind of Traxxas' own design. Instead of having the regular tabs on the servo where you bolt it in, screw it in the side, the servo slides in. It's I guess you'd say horizontal tabs on it, where the servo lays flat and then bolts up, where the tabs are horizontal instead of the normal vertical tabs on a servo. So it is kind of their servo, kind of proprietary servo. So if you break it or something like that, you know, currently you're going to have to use their servo is what it looks like. As far as torque and stuff, though, it's quite a bit of power in the steering. I really don't see any reason to have to upgrade it for any reason. And their electronics are pretty good anyways, as well as their warranty service if you do have any issues ever with the servo. One of the big points we saw when we've seen one of these, you've probably seen our video of the X-Max running in our backfield. It's a lot better of a design than some of the newer trucks that we've seen come out, where one vehicle that Traxxas did was the Jado, and being that we're a shop that repairs cars, it's one of the more time-consuming and more difficult cars to fix, especially if you break the top deck, which is fairly common on that car. And it's not one of those fix it in the field kind of deals, where this car, they seem to have thought quite a bit about that, and they've engineered it where for the most part it looks like you can fix pretty much anything on the car without a big hassle. The wheel hexes, we've had a lot of questions about the wheel hexes. We have checked these out. It's they're 23 millimeter. It looks like 23 millimeter hexes. They have a 17 mil nut holding the move that up here, holding the wheel on, and on the inside it's a splined axle that has a what looks like a 23 millimeter insert slit over the top of it. So it's not like a regular Revo or T-Max 17 mil hex on there. It's made for this truck. It is quite a bit different than the other things they've made. On the arms, the hinge pins are captured rather than what you see on a lot of Traxxas cars is the screw pins or screw hinge pins. They have screws holding them in, and they're a standard hinge pin. See if we can get a better shot of that there. So this is a little plastic cap screwed on the hinge pins inside here. So if you need to get the hinge pin out, basically you're pulling that screw off and then sliding the pin out. And the same thing here, you'd pull off the screw which is capturing the pin and push it out from the back. And essentially this arm's going to come off pretty easily. The arm design, there's some thought put into there where like the T-Max, where you have the shock go through the arm. They ran the arm behind the shock, which allows you to take off just the bottom arm or just the top arm, rather than having to pull both assemblies apart or pulling the shock off to replace one side or the other. As far as durability, their shock towers are kind of interesting. Nobody's broke anything on these. We've sold a few of these already, and the customers have driven them quite a bit. I was kind of wondering how this is kind of like a shock tower and a front chassis brace kind of in one. I don't know how this is going to hold up in a hard impact, but so far everybody's been hard on them and nobody's broken anything on them yet. Anything else you see in here that you like?
Okay, also another feature they put on this truck is it comes with metal CVDs. Unlike the other cars, they come with the plastic shafts. Then another thing too that this truck, that we didn't mention, that this truck does not come with, is batteries. Also has a nice heat sink on the motor. Let's see, built-in servo saver into the bell crank.
We're going to go over a little bit over the transmission. We're going to need the exploded view because brand new truck, we don't want to take it apart quite yet. So we're going to roll this that way, out of the way a little bit. This is where you're going to have to zoom in. So here, this is the exploded view. This here is the slipper assembly. It is similar to the other Traxxas slipper assemblies. It does differ in that it has a solid friction pad here instead of the traditional puck style. The puck style slipper pads didn't seem to quite hold up to really high voltage packs people running in the E-Revos and the E-Maxes. So it looks like they did a little bit of redesign here to accommodate for the extra power in the car. It's kind of a transmission, kind of direct drive. This is your basically your slipper assembly here, and the output gear here, which is going to drive this gear, which goes out to the drive line. So it's essentially more like a gear reduction than really a transmission or a direct drive, because it just has one gear reduction drop, not counting the differentials. Here's a close-up view of the servo, so you can kind of see how it bolts in. It comes up underneath the chassis and it bolts in from the base. I kind of see why they did that, how everything else fits in this car. If they had it come in from the front, it would be kind of like a Jado, where it'd be a pain kind of to get your driver in there to unscrew the servo and get it out. So it makes it a lot easier to be able to just pull these 3 screws and have the servo just drop out of the bottom. This truck has TSM technology. It's their stability management. We've driven it quite a bit in some pretty loose, powdery dirt. It seems to not really need it too much. The truck hooks up really, really good, just kind of how it is. We've ran it with TSM on as well as off, and it seems to be a little, it does, you know, you can notice it a little bit, but I wouldn't say that it really needs it a whole lot. I suppose if you were in like really sandy kind of marble kind of dirt, that it might help a little bit. But for the most part, the stock tires and the truck just in its stock configuration seems to hook up really good and handle really well just how it is. If you check out our video too, you can see this truck kind of sliding around in that back field. We have the video posted up of, as I said, of it running. You'll notice it doesn't tend to want to really grab and kind of tip over like most monster trucks tend to do. There are some soft spots out there in the back, and I was kind of wondering that in a high-speed turn if it would try to flip, or if it would just kind of hook and keep itself level. And for the most part, it doesn't seem to have a tendency to want to flip over kind of on most surfaces you drive it on. And tell them about the.
Of course, I was going to say if you do flip it over, it's got the self-righting system on it. It'll just rock the truck back and forth until it flips back over on the wheels. And I was assuming it doesn't work all the time, but
yeah, about 80% of the time. I mean, you're going to get into a situation because essentially it's torquing the truck back and forth to get it to flip back over. So, I mean, you know, if you're hung up in rocks or thick grass or something that's not going to let the truck, you know, rock back and forth, then you're going to have to go over there and flip it back over. But for the most part, I mean, you know, if you're in a big open field or something like that, or it's at a distance from you, it's kind of nice to be able to have it flip itself over than have to go walk a half a mile to go get it, or through mud or whatever. So it's kind of nice having that feature in there. One of the guys that have tried it, and it does work. It, you know, just like the video, it kind of rocks back and forth and flips itself back up. All right, we're going to show how getting the body back on. It's pretty easy. Mentioned, you know, regular ID Traxxas connectors, the newer style. They do accommodate the old style Traxxas connectors as well. So that's not anything, you know, that big of a deal, but thought I'd mention that it does have regular Traxxas connectors that.
okay, now to get the body back on, like I said before, you got your front tab that slips underneath the shock tower, and then the rear that locks into place. Just simply put it back on. What I'm going to do is aim it a little down and push it forward from the rear, and slide it into place, and then go ahead and lock it. So you just slide it forward, push this down, bring the tab in place, make sure this is over or else it won't go down, and then lock it in place, and that's all you got to do.
So it's
that simple.
Pretty easy to get it on and off. We're going to have a size comparison. I know they show Stampedes, which kind of exaggerate its size, but as you can see, this is a pretty big car anyways. So we'll show first here. Next to, this is a Stampede 4x4 VXL, 10th scale. So we'll kind of turn it the other way. And there it is over the top of it. So, and we got a T-Max 3.3. This is the newer style 3.3 that's going to have the extended chassis. So about the, you know, the new T-Max about the size of a Revo. So it's still, this car is pretty massive. And I'll show you from the front here and get a size comparison. So it's a pretty big difference. The car handles far and away really, really good. Can't keep saying that. Can't stop saying that. All right, well, we will have these available for pre-order through Christmas, before Christmas. We're sold out right now. We are hoping to get more of these before Christmas. You can check out our website, www.visaliahobbies.com, or give us a call, 559-734-8072. We're hoping to get more of these in fairly soon. So if you're looking to get one, stop by or give us a call. But as far as right now, the ETA, we've sold a few of these already. It's supposed to be
mid-December.
About mid-December that we'll be getting more. So if you're ordering online, we're hoping to get them soon enough that we can send them out to you guys before Christmas. You can have them for Christmas, or if not, we're here in Visalia, California, and you can come in and pick one up as soon as we get them in.